Hey guys, and welcome to this SFO Grimhammer 2 modded game between myself, a rubber duck of war, taking on Ninja Pingving as the forces of the demons do descend upon a Dragon Ogre Shagoff alliance. Should be a good fun fight. Looks like there is a little bit of discontent in the Chaos ranks, and we've gone for a full demon build to show some unity, but we are up against other Chaos forces. It's going to be a good fun one for sure. So in the front line, we do have the Corner Berserkers. Now, a lot of the new units in this mod are very expensive and are kind of meant to be used alongside the current units in battles, but me and Ninja are having so much fun. We have so many small army videos which I might do replays on of these kind of crazy elite units going into battle. We do have the Corn Berserkers. They're unbreakable anti-infantry, fast attacks, and very glass cannon. They can dish out so much pain, you better believe it. With some Bloodletters of Khorne in the center fight, as well as some Demonettes of Slaanesh, they do pretty much what you would expect. The Demonettes are armor-piercing and incredibly fast, whereas the Bloodletters, a little bit more slow, but they have that flaming and magical attacks and some glorious anti-infantry. On the left-hand side, we do have some Plague Bearers of Nurgle who look disgusting, bumbling and wandering their way forward into the grips of death, or hopefully, in my ideas, the grips of victory. They do come in poison attacks as well as magic attacks, unbreakable, regeneration, all that good standard stuff you would expect. Leading the battle lines, we do have an Exalted Bloodthirster in the center of the battle line here, looking absolutely chad. He comes with a bucket ton of buffs, and he's going to be supported by the Chaos Lord on foot and a Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows, who shall be coming in with Enfeebling Foe, Pendulum, and Mind Razor. In the back, we do have the Zealots of Change, who also look pretty damn awesome. I must admit, this mod has impressed me a bucket ton. I haven't done too much modded content in the past, and as I said before, this is kind of enhancing the current game and sprinkling one or two other units, but today we've gone all out and are bringing all the bad boys to the battlefield. I'm a big fan of the Zealots of Change. They come with some really powerful abilities. We do have the Swords of Change, which can summon a unit of Chaos Spawn. We have No Time of Death. We also have the Chaotic Crusade, but more importantly, Unholy Pact with the Changer, which gives 1,000 point hit points and magic resistance and immune psychology in an area of effect of our choice, and the Soul Leech of Tzeentch, which does basically what you think it would do. It sucks the energy from the opponents, also gives them negative melee defense as well as a magic resistance. For my opponent's build, we do have a couple of Marauder Horsemen in the vanguarded position, supported by Hounds of Decay, some very elite anti-infantry war beasts there, and backing them up and leading the line, it is actually going to be Kolek Suneater, a Dragon Ogre Shagoff, and 2 units of Dragon Ogres, and just in front of them, we do have some Chaos Marauders looking ferocious, and the most badass I've seen Marauders look in quite some time. These look like the champion models. They're down for a good fat scrap. Without further ado, let's get this battle underway. So I'm going to be moving forward first and foremost with the Exalted to force back the Skirmish Corps, and then retreating rather quickly because Kolek Suneater is an absolute champ, coming with his resilience and bone crusher abilities. He is moving forwards towards my lords, but I have so many troops here backing up and defending that my opponent rather wisely does decide to fall back, and then he's going to be supporting his Hounds of Decay as well as the Horsemen in a little bit of a skirmish in the early stages of this battle, just getting some free damage. We do swoop in with our mighty Exalted Demon itself, but Kolek escapes relatively unscathed. I'm going to have to pull back the Demonettes of Slaanesh, getting a little over-eager with them. I'm going to try and drag my opponent into the Plague Bearers of Nurgle, who are very slowly going to limp into combat, but they should do an absolutely fine job. Dragon Ogre swoops in as well, and the battle is well and truly underway. We've actually managed to catch out a few of the Horsemen. They're not in skirmish mode, and our Corn Berserkers will chew through them very, very, very quickly. Demonettes are forced their way in onto the Dragon Ogres. We have the Soul Leech go down and stand or die, but the mighty Exalted isn't doing too good. Kolek is dwarfing him and beating the living crap out of him. He's got his little whip in his hand, but it's not been doing it too much good for him so far. So many buffs and debuffs going down. We've popped Enfeebling Foe. We've also popping down the Mind Razor on our own troops to try to buff them up in an overcast effect there. Zealots of Change shall be moving into hand-to-hand combat as well. You can see the lightning striking 3 times. What are the chances onto our Zealots? But the majority of the units did manage to get out of the way and into the absolute flustercluck of battle in the center here. Corn Berserkers are still going to be chewing their way through. The Hounds are gigantic, standing toe-to-toe and eye-to-eye with the men. The Corn Berserkers are elite warriors designed for the blood and carnage of battle. A laughing, cackling skull of flame does descend upon the battlefield, quite close to my Plague Bearers, but the Plague Bearers are doing a decent job here, up to 12 kills, just chewing their way through Chaos Marauders and Horsemen alike, and both the Dragon Ogre units have been sent packing, but their master continues to push firm and go even more forward, hunting down the Zealots of Change, but more importantly, hunting down our exalted Bloodthirster here. And it is the two bros versus the one. I am rather scared right now. I'm trying to run away as quickly as possible and pull myself through my own troops, because the rest of the battle is going really well. We've broken the hearts of the Chaos so far. The Khorne Berserkers are basically untouched. Likewise, the Demonettes of Slaanesh and the Plague Bearers are all doing a really stand-up job. The Exalted is on 2,200 HP, so it looks like he's only got a sliver left. It can be a little bit deceiving, and the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth and Kholek are now getting bogged down amongst the Khorne Berserkers as well as the demons, and all the demons in general can do pretty decent damage. We've seen Enfeebling Foe go down, nuking Kholek's stats significantly, minus 35 melee attack and defense. We do a little bit cheeky hit and run as well with our Exalted Demon before pulling back once more. Dragon Ogres are starting to break, more do return to the battlefield, supported by the Marauders as they try to chew their way through our force, and it looks like we're getting very low on HP, 1,300. Javelins are being launched in, some good pressure coming in from my opponent, uses Marauder Horsemen rather wisely. They still have a decent amount of ammunition left though, so you really need to try and finish him off before picking apart other elements of our build, because Kholek is really struggling right now, and that is largely due to the fact the Chaos Lord is a bit of a beast. Supported by the Khorne Berserkers, they're really slicing and dicing and chewing their way into that juicy flesh of Kholek. He does manage to pop a little chain lightning down, which does come down on himself here, and it is eviscerating Zealots of Change and Khorne Berserkers, doing some nice damage, but Kholek is at least going to fall back for now. Bounce power moving ever further in our favor of the mighty demons. We do see a Soul Lich go down on the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. We may be coming back in for a bit of a rematch. We want our big old demon to try and get a little bit of pride back. He's been on the back foot for the majority of the battle. We do luckily have the Plague Bearers coming back in. That regeneration makes them so tanky. Look at their HP, over 10,000 HP. It is really, really scary stuff. We have the Unholy Pack going down, attempting to heal up the majority of our troops. The Dragon Ogre is really going to town on the Chaos Sorcerer at the moment. I'm just going to use my Plague Bearers simply as meat shields to force away the Skirmish Cav and keep them away from our other key targets. The Demonettes of Slaanesh were chasing down a load of routing units. They did stop moving for some reason, which is a little bit concerning. They need to get nice and aggressive and really try to punch back the enemy, because Kholek is on the warpath once more. Seeing him come in, I do use our Chaos Spawn Summon, looking to surround the mighty Dragon Ogre Shaggoth and drag it down before Kholek can come in and assist, and that's just what we do. Kholek is a tiny tad too late. He pops Star Crusher. Look at that buff, 100% splash attacks, 25 plus a bonus versus infantry, and much, much more. So we're going to whack him with an Enfeebling Foe and get down and dirty with him once more, as he is starting to bleed quite badly. Chaos Sorcerer Lord is whipping our people into a frenzy, forcing the Bloodletters once more back into the fray, and the Chaos Spawn are doing lovely damage. I don't think Kholek's going to be able to hold out here, and if he goes down, it should be a sweet, sweet victory for the forces of the demons. The Marauder Horsemen will be retreating, and the Plague Bearers fend the rest away for a juicy Pyrrhic victory for the demons of chaos. Well played to my opponent, Ninja. We had some awesome fun games. You may see a couple more casts on the channel using this mod. There's a load of cool new units which have been added to the game. Likewise, a lot of stats have been moved around and changed to try to make it as lore-friendly as physically possible. Is it super balanced? I mean, it's honestly relatively well balanced. You can bring these really expensive units and they do horrendous damage on the battlefield, but look at the size of my build. It is tiny. So often you're meant to be using these units more in conjunction with a more normal army, let's say. But honestly, almost every unit has had at least some changes and some quality of life stuff as well to the lords and heroes, making them a little bit more badass. If you did enjoy this modded content, I know it's something a little bit different from what I normally do, but I did have a very long weekend streaming stuff for the Creative Assembly event, Teach Me Total, which is amazing, really good fun, but I did want to take a little bit of a break from the standard game just for a couple of days, so I thought, hey, let's do some modded content, and I must admit, it was a barrel of laughs and really good fun. So if you want to see some more SFO Grimhammer 2 modded stuff or any other mods, just let me know down below. Like the video, comment underneath the video saying you enjoyed it. It really does kind of be a good indicator that I should do more of this type of content. We are going to do a live stream later today, an SFO Grimhammer tournament with probably 4 to 5 players maybe. If we get too many in, we'll do a King of the Hill. It is currently just DBD members, but if that's successful, we'll move on and do it to the public as well, where we do like a big kind of SFO or big modded tournaments in general, if people do like that idea. But anyway, back to the battle. There's some really awesome stuff by Ninja. I love the fact he went for this Dragon Ogre themed build. Kholek Suneater managed to get 3,312 damage value and over 21k damage dealt. I'm just not quite able to hunt down my mighty Exalted Demon, and that's because I can pulling him through my own troops, which is a kind of tactic you pick up when you use dragons and other large single entities. It is certainly a worthwhile skill to use. Marauders did okay, nothing too crazy across the board, and honestly the Dragon Ogres were a little bit disappointing. 1,200 damage value is really solid. The other one, only 820. They broke surprisingly quick. Dragon Ogre Sheoff got 2,602 damage value, trying to outshine Kolek, but being put in his place as the younger brother. Horsemen did a solid job, but a little bit too little too late and weren't able to use up all the ammunition, and the Hounds of Decay at 665 damage value, taking that fight in the front. Unfortunately, I had no back line for them really to jump on and harass. For our own forces, the Chaos Lord got 1,265 damage value, not bad for a Foot Lord whatsoever, and the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, it doesn't look like they did too much, but those Overcast, Mind Razors, and Enfeebling Foes certainly helped out in those big fights. I'm going to completely butcher the name, but Kar-Bandhar, the Exalted, did a pretty decent job. 2,656 damage value. Only 3 kills though, but over 14k damage dealt, or just spot on 14k damage dealt. Also been a lovely distraction, and allowing my other demons to really shine. Bloodletters of Khorne, 1,545 damage value, 1,500 on the Demonettes of Slaanesh. I love the fact how quick they are. They hit incredibly hard. And the Plague Bearers of Nurgle, only 344 damage value. They really don't dish out much pain whatsoever, but they absorb so much. They are super tanky. They're the ultimate shield, and they held back a lot of my opponent's forces for a while, and then I used them to fend off the skirmish cavalry in the later stages of the game. Khorne Berserkers, 1,500 value on them, 41 kills. Very impressed. They have so much damage output, and there wasn't really particularly amazing targets for them today. They're really here to chew through the infantry. They spent a lot of the time trying to circle and beat down Kolek and other large single entities, and they did that fine, simply due to the fact they've got massive damage output. And the Zealots have changed, only 640 value, but their bound abilities are so good. They're incredibly powerful. So I kind of kept them at the back for large portions of the battle and kind of moved them in for the later stages and fights. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was mega fun. Until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay forth.